you for coming back. And looks like everything is working now, which is a plus.
Sure about that?
So I'm hoping.
No,
That's why I usually leave this to Max.
I just got notification that you're live, so yeah, we're good.
Okay.
YouTube is good. Just give it
Awesome.
give it about 30 seconds for all the notifications to go out and stuff, and then you can start.
Okay.
And we're good on Odyssey. Odyssey stream just started again.
Nice. Okay. I will get this going right now. Send it over to a few people.
And your dad's watching.
Yes, my dad is watching. He is.
Like I said, that's the one thing I like about Melon is that even guests can see the comments from the channel.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Let's start with. How would you like to be called? Would you like to be called by your YouTube channel or by your first name or? Yes.
Just call me Vaughn.
Vaughn. Okay.
Most people call me Vaughn.
Okay. Do you want to talk
you.
about? Do you want? Do you want to talk about the latest project you just had on your channel?
Or do you want to start over?
The 6.5.
Derek,
What?
are we starting the stream officially?
It is started officially.
I know, but do you want to give the intro? So then
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we. Okay, we'll go with the intros then. Okay, I guess we'll do it again. Okay, everybody, welcome to Northwest Guns. We are live tonight. We are doing we have a special guest, Vaughn from Vaughn Percision, and my co-host. I'll know him, Mr. Slav, and we are live. And we're going to talk about different projects tonight. We're going to talk about a few different things. So I will let Vaughn here introduce himself and go from there.
All right, so I guess starters. My name is Kurt. For those of you who don't know me, we run our little YouTube channel here, Vaughn Percision, and do a lot of reloading, a lot of gun building, and just long range shooting, short range shooting, pistols, rifles, you name it. Just kicking off a whole new shotgun series here. So just cool stuff, man. Thanks for bringing me on too. Appreciate it.
No, you're very much welcome.
I was really looking forward to this one too. And you know what, Derek? Thank you for having me as always. And for once, I'm glad I am not the special guest, and I'm just here for the conversation.
Nice. What got you into doing shotguns? Shotgun stuff.
It's a new challenge. Actually just tomorrow morning we're peeling out of here at 5 a.m. to go to compete in some sporting clays. So we just became members of the NSCA, and my son and I are going to go up and do a lot of sporting clays events. In fact, we just shot our first one last weekend for points, and so that's it's challenging. It's not like sitting on a bench or laying prone, just poking paper, across the range or across the canyon. It's very challenging. To be frank, I suck at it, and so anytime that happens, I got to get better. Got to get a lot better.
So here's a question. I'm not a big shotgun guy. I'm mostly a pistol guy going into the precision rifle world. And I enjoy going out and shooting some sporting clays around here locally. We have Lehigh Valley sporting clays. I guess for starters, can you talk about, for people who may not be familiar, what the difference between sporting clays versus, let's say, trap or skeet? And on the flip side, like you say that it's completely different. And when I go, at least we have a couple of big clubs here locally for sporting clays and trap and skeet. Yep. And those guys make it look super damn easy versus, it might be as easy for them as it is for us shooting longer range.
Yep. It's so I'm not that proficient at it. Even the terminology, to be honest. Skeet, you have the high house and the low house, and they come crossing in front of you. Trap, of course, is the trap house out in front of you, and they're fired off in sort of a V shape, same speed, same angle, but you don't know exactly where in that V that clay is going to come out at. Then there's 5 stand, uh, which has 5 to 8 stands. Our range has 8 stands that throw them at different angles. And then, of course, sporting clays is you walk a path and you come to a station. There could be, I don't know, 10 stations, 15 stations, and they're coming from. They're usually the trap throws are hidden, and so but you have this background, you have a perception that is not necessarily what you think it is, and it's incredibly hard to hit those. I enjoy it because it's like hunting, and I'm a big duck hunter. A lot of people don't know that, but I love duck hunting. I hunted probably 40-45 days this year. And I and so it's real life. Sporting clays to me is more like real life, where you've got, birds coming in from wherever at different angles, and they're coming in fast and hard or slow, and so it's extremely challenging, very challenging.
And I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago was like the first time we did sporting clays here in Lake Bigot. So the sporting clays here, Lehigh Valley Sporting Clays, I know there's a bunch of people who are watching that are in like about if you're within 3 hours of Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, I definitely recommend you go do that. And what they did is they converted an old quarry, and so it used to be a bunch of coal. Now they do a little bit of fracking, but they did a quarry, and they made it into how many stations was it? It was like 15 or 20 stations of sporting clays, and it's like just beautiful. And you have elevation changes. You're shooting through the woods. You're shooting over a quarry lake, or like the water that's left in there, and like it's totally it is really 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 cool. I'm okay at it, but it's definitely something different.
Let me ask you this then: what is roughly your average score when you do it?
Oh, I don't recall. It's been a couple of years since we
Okay.
shot that. Since we shot there, but I think out of 100, if we were keeping score on the first two, it was like in the 70s. So nothing great, but not that horrible. But no, but what it is, so like with a forum that I have, we were just basically a bunch of Jersey people who would go out there and run golf carts, and it's an excuse to go waste ammo. We just go shoot. It wasn't necessarily for score. There are a couple of people who are really, really good, but haven't actually shot sporting clay. Damn it, I'm gonna go do that now. Thanks. By the way, thanks. I mean, you're gonna go get me to spend more money.
Right.
And if there's no videos next week, he's why.
Nice. Okay. Well, it is what it is. No, I do PRS. It's not something I'm great at, but I enjoy doing it. I'm more of a ELR shooter myself. I like going for the real long range stuff, but PRS is fun. I decided I'm going to stick to local matches for that this year, but it's a blast. I built my PRS rifle and both my ELR rifle. All three of my ELR rifles actually. So.
Well, I mean, but you're also lucky. I mean, you're blessed that you can just go outside and go shoot a mile or more.
True.
Yep.
I can't live on the East Coast again. I could never do that. I am sorry, but that restriction would kill me. So, but no, because I actually didn't live too far away from where Vaughn's from up in Washington, and I couldn't stand it up there. Business wise, it was good for when I was in the trucking industry, but other than that, man, I couldn't. I can't. I give him props.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, like, so Washington is like really weird. I mean, like, is it almost kind of like the West Coast version of Maine, or like even Vermont, in the sense that like you have a crap ton of gun owners, but it's a very liberal state, and like somehow they tolerate gun owners more or less?
Everybody except the politicians, but yes.
So,
Yeah.
well, What's one of your favorite calibers to shoot, Vaughn? When it comes to rifles,
Pretty much anything, 6 millimeter 243 or two six, 6.5s.
okay.
Those are my favorite. You know, super accurate, just inherently accurate, low recoil, a lot of different options with powders and bullets, and um, you can go out and lay 100 rounds down, and you're not hurting the next day like if you were shooting a 300 win or something like that. So I prefer the 243 6.5s. I've done some 7 millimeter like 7 MMO8s and different things, even 308s too. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking any of them. I'm just saying that's my
Mm-hmm.
preference is the 6.5 or the 6 mil.
Okay. No, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I have, like I was saying earlier, my PRS rifle. It's a 6GT. I just got into that cartridge this year, and my son is shooting the 6.5 Creedmoor, so I figured that's a good one for him to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's affordable to reload whenever you can find reloading components for it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Luckily, I bought everything in bulk before this big shortage happened, so I've got probably 60 pounds of powder and thousands of primers and stuff. But luckily, boy, that burns up fast.
It
So,
does.
so here's a question for you. And I know this, like, it's really interesting, and I'm glad that all three of us are together because even though we're talking, I mean, we cover roughly the same topics, but our audiences are quite a bit different. It was eye-opening doing a just like surveys. It's like, okay, well, how long have you been a gun owner? What type of things are you doing? And so, like, for instance, like a lot of my audience, I mean, like, we're newer gun owners or people who are just coming into the sport, and they often hear people kind of like the hotness of 6 millimeter Creedmoor or 6GT, 6 PPC, dashers, anything else like that. But and as gun guys and as somebody, so I saw you have reloading presses there, and it's slightly out of frame. I have 4 reloading presses on my bench over there. I know Derek loads, and sometimes he does his streams from his loading uh, bunker outside. But so even though we're talking about like the love for a lot of 6 millimeter calibers, does that change if somebody is just getting into it, or if they don't hand load their own ammo? And I guess, and a continuation of that is if they can't change their own barrels on the gun.
I can promise you, just by looking at your face, your angle is not broken.
Derek, take it away.
For me, I'll be honest. If I didn't hand load, I would my PRS rifle probably would have been a 6 Creedmoor. To be quite honest, because we have 6 Creedmoor on the shelf here. It's one caliber that we have not had any issues with finding. So honestly, I probably would have gone with the 6 Creed, but because I'm able to reload and I study ballistics and stuff, that's in wanted a cartridge that was just as good but uses less powder but gives me the same velocity, and that's why I chose the 6GT. So, and there was a lot of characteristics to that compared to like the 6XC, which will probably be my next one down the road.
Yeah. And I agree. Anybody just getting into it who's buying a factory rifle or whatever, 6.5 Creedmoor ammo's available. Maybe not right now, but it's on the shelf everywhere. 243s on the shelf everywhere. 308s, 7 MO8s. But when you start getting into like 6BR or the XCs or kind of I don't want to call them wildcats, but you can't just go and buy ammo off the shelf. And so unless you can reload and find the components, which can be challenging, especially on some of those rounds. And some of them, like a 243 Ackley, well, almost any Ackley other than like the 280 Ackley, you have to fire form that brass yourself. And so, unless you can do that, you're not shooting it.
This is true because I built a 338 Ackley improved, and I still haven't fired it just because I got to get the dies made. So,
oh yeah.
But I did find the dies last night on the shelf for a 25-06 Ackley. So I'm very not complicated, but contemplating on going to buy those and put those away for maybe a hunting rifle project. No.
If you look at the ballistics and the gain on that particular round for the Ackley, now most Ackleys you really do make a big difference, but that particular one you don't see much of a difference. It's not worth doing, in my opinion. I would
Really?
not do that.
Okay.
No.
No, that's good to know because actually how I found your channel a few years back was the 243 Ackley project that you did, and my brother-in-law wants to build a 243, so that's one of his projects he wants to do that we're going to work on later this year.
Okay.
Was a 243 Ackley. Yeah, that's just one I after getting into reloading and learning and doing more ballistics learning and studying, to me, a lot of the Wildcats make a lot more sense than a lot of the stuff that's on the shelf.
I agree. Yeah.
So
Yeah, honestly, I'm shocked that there's not a lot more Ackleys out there available on the shelf, like the
Same
280 Ackley. That's because the performance out of those things, not just with the ballistic, the terminal ballistics, the speeds, but just the inherent accuracy on some of those are just tack driving machines, and why they've never taken off is beyond me. But
I agree with you, and I was an early adopter of the 300 PRC, and I was afraid it wasn't going to take off, and it was going to be another wild. It was going to turn into a Wildcat, but luckily it didn't. So,
don't let YouTube see that.
oh no, that's fine.
Nah, ammo's fine.
Ammo's fine. It's just firearms.
We've been testing this.
Yes. Yes, we have tested it, and I have gotten emails.
You have, okay.
So,
We'll have to talk about that one.
yeah. So ammo's fine though.
So on that to Ackley thing, so my background, it was actually before getting more into firearms, I was mostly on the financial side, and I covered the firearms industry starting about 4 or 5 years ago. Started getting heavily into 2A analytics and metrics, and I'm wondering if a good portion of the reason why you're not seeing it is simply due to manufacturers not necessarily wanting to play with that. And what I will even tell you, so kind of like even the new hotness in my world is 6mm arc. I really, really like the caliber. We have 3 guns already built, a couple of more coming up. Love 6.5 PRC, love 300 PRC. And when we're, let's say, for example, even comparing that versus 224 Valk or, here we go, 6 arc versus 6 AR, which is basically pretty much the exact same caliber, just the shoulder not bumped back a couple of hundreds. And it's about the support, and it's about who's going to be helping promote it. We know Hornady, they're going to be able to stand behind it. I know right now I'm getting bombarded with emails and even like their marketing kits and everything that they sent out to the press earlier this year was about promoting their calibers and their cartridges. We'll have to take a look at how Winchester does and Browning with 6.8 Western. We know that Federal has stood behind their 224 Valkyrie, but if you want to go all the way small, you have, Dave Tubbs with the XCs, or even like the Ackleys, or even kind of like in the middle. I mean, we want to take a look at the, was it the Norm? No, not the Normas. Yeah, the Normas. They're like the Norma calibers. Like, I mean, they're very big with the hunting world. But I mean, like outside of that, they're never going to break out beyond their niche. Nor do I think that a lot of manufacturers want to do that.
Well, I can say 300 Norma out here is a big one for like 2,000-yard shootouts.
Yes. Well, and so I know we talk about this all the time on our streams before. So like one of the tools I love using is Google Trends. So go on google.com/trends, and you can put those. So the Normas and the Ackleys were very popular in the Western states. No one's even looking at them on the East Coast because, I mean, like you're not going to have that much of a case use for those calibers. nor do I think that a lot of the gun owners are, I guess, very open to those type of cartridges. Or once they start realizing, hey, you know what, you're getting a lot of this accuracy, you're getting a better cartridge, but it might mean that you're going to have a little bit more of a barrel burner. It's like completely a no go. And from the flip side of it, I think also manufacturers, especially right now, so even for instance, like taking a, can I say this or no? I, I, I don't know if I'm going to say it, so I'm going to put it differently. So you have large manufacturers who would easily be open to doing a new cartridge, let's say, for example, 6mm arc, but in their own words, well, why should we look at a niche cartridge when we can barely keep our 6.5 Creedmoor and 223s in stock as it is? And you have like others who have announced cartridges like newer ones, but they're not going to be out there for a while. And you have Savage, which does a really good job of adopting newer cartridges.
Yeah.
But it's like they don't do it too often or too frequently.
I think have been to SHOT Show a few times, talking to a lot of gun companies, ammo companies. There's a few things that I think major corporations have to think about too, and that's the amount of time and effort they have to put into publication of a new product, even an old product, right? So not too long ago, Ruger kind of started to push the 41 caliber pistol, which has been around for eons, and they started building new pistols. A lot more ammo got introduced. It never really took off. Now, if you go to the shelves, it's not there again. But they pushed it hard for a couple of years. But think of the amount of effort that went into that one round, right? And now look at all the rounds that we just talked about, right? Tons and tons of different rounds. And so how much time and effort and money are you going to put into trying to push an Ackley or the XC or the BR or whatever? And that's a huge undertaking. And not only that, you have to tool up to to produce the chambers, to produce the bullets, to produce, or not necessarily the bullets, but the cartridges itself. And then you put all this money out there, and then it just doesn't take off. So I get it from a business perspective. I think I understand it. That's a huge undertaking, especially if it's a flop.
No, I can agree with that. And I kind of agree with Vaughn on this one. I really wish a lot of companies would have thought up with more of the Ackley cartridges and brought them out. But I'm glad we at least have the 280 Ackley. I wish more companies would actually pick that cartridge up instead of like the 27, 26 Nosler or anything like that. Sorry about that. But I mean, I guess with this day and age, it's hard to say. It can be hit or miss when it comes down to money.
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing with Savage launching that new rifle and why they chose what cartridges they did with it instead of bringing on the 280 Ackley, which I really think would have been like the premier cartridge for that rifle over the 300 Win Mag or something like that. But no,
Wait,
on the
I
300
think
Win Mag, but
the proper, so in my opinion, for that Savage Impulse, the proper cartridge would have been 7.5 Swiss, but they just don't have it in there. They don't have the it's a good cartridge. Okay, and basically for those that don't know, I guess the most widely used and adopted and produced straight full cartridges were the Schmidt Rubens, and those fire 7.5 by 55 Swiss cartridge. Although 6.5 Swede would actually be pretty good, and I think you guys still use it out there.
yes, actually 6.5 Swede brass is all over the place here.
Yeah, I built a 6.5 Swede 2 years ago for a guy, and he consistently shoots under 2-inch groups at 600 yards with that thing.
Wow.
Very, very impressive. Now the barrel's like it's enormous. That's what he wanted. So
Hey, you gave the customer what he wanted. That's all that matters.
yeah, and it was on a what action was that? An RPA action. RPA? I think it's RPA. It's a
Okay.
European action.
Huh.
I've never seen one before, and I looked at that and I went, "Oh boy, don't scratch this," Um, and I think it was that
How did they get it
particular
into the
action.
country?
It probably there. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that particular action there was only one of 7 ever built,
Oh wow.
and somehow he had one, and so we we barreled it and put one of those big. What's the name of that muzzle brake? Is it Terminator? I think it's
The what?
Terminator muzzle brake. It's an enormous muzzle brake, and we put one of those on there, and it's boy, it shoots lights out. Good cartridge.
Yeah, it's called RPA quad lock action. I'm looking at it
Yeah.
right now on my screen. Okay.
That's the one. RPA. Yeah.
Wild block.
Hey.
So is it four lug?
I don't know. I just seen looking at it. It's interesting looking. It really is.
It is. Yeah.
And they make a 50 BMG action too.
God, we got him started.
Derek's future rival.
No, well, actually, 50 is actually pretty easy to find stuff for out here.
As
I
long
could
as you
actually
have
find-
Well, and that's unfortunately the world that we live in, where 50 BMG right now is cheaper than 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 PRC, 300 PRC. Not quite 338 Lapua, because 338 Lapua is always at least $4 a round, but you can get all the 50 you want for $3 a round, brand new, not like 80-year-old or questionable ammo, but brand new Federal on Palmetto State Armory.
Oh, you're killing me.
Are we gonna go there?
No, we're not going there.
No, with the like the 50 is blowing up left and right.
Oh Jesus, he went there. I wasn't gonna go there tonight with
That's
that.
I'm not going there.
That's why I know what I have and I know what I shoot. So
Yeah.
And I know you don't shoot slap rounds for a 50 with a muzzle brake. I mean, I'm glad he didn't die. I'm very happy for that. But God, you're killing
It looked
me.
like there's the barrel obstruction because the barrel was bulged in the middle when I looked at the thing. But
Yeah, I haven't even watched the video on it. Oh joy!
Yep. Black barrel
Obstruction.
nice.
What?
Right there.
Wow! What was that?
Muzzle loader.
Oh, see, this is why I don't do black powder.
But look at how strong the action is. It was the barrel that split and it maintained together instead of a little thread that flies back at you.
True. I'm not much of a muzzleloader guy myself. Okay, let's talk about Vaughn. Let's talk about what's one of your favorite builds you've done.
Probably the Ackley, just because it was different. It was one of a kind. I've yet to see anybody out there on YouTube. I'm not saying there's not somebody out there, but I've yet to see a build where somebody's doing an Ackley. And so, having to fire form your own brass and the first time pulling that trigger on that thing when you load it to max and blow that shoulder forward, it's I think that was just my favorite one, just because it was just different. That's all.
Okay. Like I said, I built a 338 Ackley improved, and I can't wait to get my hands be able to actually shoot that one. So
a question for both of you guys, and so I mean, generally when you go in the stores here, I think in the last 12 years, I've only seen one box of anything Ackley improved. I think it was a 280 AI, but I know it's much more popular out west. So when you have a cartridge and it's an AI or Ackley improved, what are some of the differences with those cartridges, and what does it get you as a gun owner?
So the main there's two main differences, and one of the one is you can fit typically 4 to 5 grains more powder in there, roughly speaking. Um, and but you blow that shoulder forward to like a 40-degree angle, and so you decrease the stretch of the brass. In fact, the whole time I had my Ackley, I never had to trim the brass. I measured it every time I reloaded it, but I never had to trim the brass because it just slams that shoulder, and that's where it stops. It's not that tapered case where it's just stretching out that barrel, and so it just stops that brass flow. And there's some other particulars in there too about how the fire burns through that and different things. But the main benefit to a shooter is you get a hotter charge, and you're not killing that brass with all the brass stress under fire.
Now, did you ever see the actual improvement over from shooting Ackley version over stock 243?
Oh yeah, yeah. 105 grain. I think I was shooting the AMAX bullet at the time, 105 grain AMAX, and I was pushing that at almost 3,200 feet a second, and I could have gone faster. I could have gone significantly faster with that, but I didn't because even at that speed, I'm cooking my barrel, right? So, which isn't a big deal for me. I got the lathe and stuff. I can put a new barrel on it, but $400 a whack. It's I don't expect that barrel to last more than about 1,000 rounds before it's cooked. So, um, yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. I mean, like I said, I got an Ackley build I'm doing now. It's my first one. I've never shot an Ackley, and like I said, you kind of inspired me to do that one. Because I'm a big 338 shooter, so when I saw that there wasn't a 338 Ackley, I was like, I want to do this. And then, like I said, I followed your channel back from when you did the 243 build, and that was a really cool build you did, and I will say that was probably one of my favorite ones that you have done. The 6.5 you just did for your wife, which is really nice too. I like um, the company you went through for the barrel blank with. I've done a lot of stuff business with, and they've actually sent out a barrel for the channel and stuff like that, which would be the 300 PRC I have over here on the floor.
Yeah, this is the preferred barrel. I've never shot one before. I don't know anything about them. They set one up, and so I machined it out, just the chamber and muzzle threading and all that. But and we'll see how she shoots. But mostly I've shot Schillen and Bartlett's, pretty much exclusively those two, and but I hope it's a shooter. Their prices are competitive, and the quality of the barrel seems to be really good. I bore scoped it, and it looks great. So, I hope it's a shooter.
That was my next question: is if you shot it yet?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
I was supposed to be reloading and shooting, and unfortunately, my wife had a major surgery, so I have not.
Oh,
I have not been able to get out and do
gotcha.
so.
Gotcha. Now,
But I'm hoping Sunday actually, because I'll shoot the competition tomorrow with sporting clays, and then Sunday I plan on reloading. I've actually got everything on the bench right here next to me, ready to roll. I just haven't been able to do it. So,
see, Max, he is just as bad as we are.
yeah, terrible. Yeah.
I love it. What was now? What barrel did you guys use on your father son build that you guys did?
Chillins,
That was Schilling. Okay. What twist rate did you guys go with on that?
1 and 8.
Those were 1 and 8s. Okay. That's what I have on the Savage right now is a stock 1 and 8 5R. I don't have a lot of data on it yet, so I have nothing to compare it to. So
Yeah, the preferred is a 1 and 7 twist. So that's cooking fast. But I also wanted to shoot the 150 grain bullets. So I'm hoping to spin those up a little bit and see how they perform. And
okay.
I've got a bunch of bulk 142 grain Sierras too. So It'll spin those plenty fast.
Oh god, yeah. Because I'm shooting the 145 grain match burners right now out of that 1 and 8, and they're grouping nicely. A lot of people told me the powder I was using I was going to have issues with, which I haven't. I'm using that Winchester 6.5 stave ball, so I haven't had any issues with it yet, personally. But I mean, so far so good. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
The only thing I haven't gotten a hold of is any 4350, which is unicorn dust around here. So same with H1000.
So I shouldn't tell you I've
Only,
got.
only.
I shouldn't tell you I've got 16 pounds.
Yeah, right. I've got an alternative. I've got an IMR, was it 4955? So which is supposed to be alternative to 4350. I haven't
And it's
played
supposed to be
around with
really
it yet.
What about hybrid?
Have not used hybrid yet.
So the hybrid 100D, very good powder.
Now, is that a temperature stable powder?
Yeah. And none
No.
of them are. I don't care what the label says. I've tested it. They're not that stable.
Okay, because I was gonna say we did some testing with 4350 last year, with the 6.5 Bergara, and found the velocity not to really have that much of a difference going, because where I'm shooting at is 5,500 feet above sea level, and the competition we went to, we were about 1,900 feet to 2,000 feet out in North Dakota.
So I've run like in the Creedmoors. Wait, no, hold on. Let me back up. Creedmoor, no, 243 Ackley. I ran the
Mhm.
I've run the hybrid. In fact, I started with the hybrid, and I've run some 4350 and hot days, cold days. And is there a difference with the extreme powder? Yep. Is it enough to make it that big of a difference? Not in my opinion. It's not. It just, you know, 20, 30 feet per second, one over the other. And as long as you know that up front, I don't see, we can all calculate that. That's not that big of a deal.
No, plus, I'm assuming a lot of people, I mean, at least us, when we're going to go shoot, we're going to have a chrono with us anyway, and then you can just make the adjustments on the fly.
Right. What I did was I create a shoot chart, and so barometric pressure versus muzzle confirmed muzzle velocity at specific temperatures, and I go every 10 degrees based on barometric pressures. And so I know if I'm going to shoot 1,000 yards and I'm at 2,500 feet and it's 73 degrees outside, go right down the chart and go, there's my dope right there. Got it. And it
Nice.
now confirmed, of course. I've taken coolers out, putting bullets on ice, in a bag, of course, and
I've seen that.
cooling the chambers and all that stuff, and making sure that the temperatures are. And I check everything with an infrared gun, and then just gather the data and then just put my chart together. I just use Excel spreadsheet and just put the chart together, shrink it down, print it off, laminate it, and it's in my shooting bag. So I don't have to depend on any apps or Kestrels or anything like that.
Okay, do you still use Ballistic AE?
I do. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I actually had a phone conference probably about 5-6 months ago with Logan from West Desert Shooter and one of the owners of that of the app.
Sean.
Yep. Thank you. I knew his name started with an S, but I didn't want to be wrong. I'm terrible with names.
Yep, Sean. Yeah, I worked for him for a few years, and it was good. But then after my wreck and stuff, I just needed to get some stuff off my plate. So.
Oh, completely understandable. Trust me. I know I'm coming up to one more 60-something hour week, and then after that, I'm just cutting back. After months of it, and I'm like, I need time for me, because I got a competition coming up in June. I need to concentrate on.
Yeah.
So, and I got load data I have to do on these bullets, and so, yeah. But the plus side is I'm. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think tomorrow we're taking a new camera out and film some of the sporting clays, because to me that is just it is just so fun.
What camera you got?
Change is always good.
That is my brand spanking new. This is the Canon 90D.
Okay.
So I just picked this up, and I'm liking it. Shoots 4K and stuff. So
Okay.
Between that and a couple of new GoPro heroes, the blacks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we'll probably drag that out. Get
Very
some
nice.
footage on it.
I'm going to the Rocky Mountain Sportsman's Expo over in Belgrade, Montana tomorrow.
Nice.
Vortex is supposed to be there, and supposedly they're supposed to be showing off some new optic that they have coming out. Fortunately, they never got back with me.
What part of Montana is that in?
Belgrade, Central. Well, it's
Central.
Western Central. It's right. So it's about hour and a half away from me.
Okay.
So it just depends on what route I go. So I gotta drop her off at work, and then I'll jot down the 12 and go over there.
Nice.
So it's about an hour, hour and 20 from her. So, but I was what?
What kind of new optic is it supposed to be? Is it supposed to be a scope or like a red dot or something?
I think it's supposed to be a scope. They just
I'm
said
wondering if it's the one that Ilya showed a picture of.
I'm thinking it is, but I'm not gonna say because I don't feel like having vortex on my ass.
But it sounds like you work with
Well, I've already blown up one scope this month. Let's not go for two.
Okay.
So, but we're gonna give that one a try again next week. But oh man, something I wanted to bring up and talk to you about, because both me and you, Vaughn, use it, is the mech press, the mech marksman. So I love that press. I've fallen in love with it ever since I gotten it.
You might make it bigger so you can actually see it.
Hold on 1 minute.
Derek, or just change your format so we can see the widescreen.
Yeah.
Yeah. This press, I'm in love with this press. This thing is so awesome. I can't say enough about it. It works. It's great. I love that thing.
Are those mighty die armories?
Yeah.
Or okay, I have not used them yet, but
yeah, mighty armories.
Wait, so what's special? Go back to what's special about it.
They're buttery smooth. I mean, they're polished. They're Rockwell hardness of like 60.
No, I meant the press.
Oh, the press. It is. It's not a cam over design. It's just a solid.
Okay.
But it is.
Okay.
It is so smooth, and the runouts I get when I'm using, of course, obviously quality dies is fantastic. But not only that, but the. So I've loaded thousands of rounds on this press now after 2 years, and my Lee press that I had, which was the big stout press, I posted a video on it too, and the RAM was just clunk, 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 and I was getting a huge amount of run out. And when I swapped over to this one here and I've loaded more rounds on this press than I ever did with the Lee. But I'm not knocking Lee; they're a good product to get started with.
Oh yeah, they're great value for what they are.
They are. They're great value.
They are.
This one here, it is really, it's holding up, and I have nothing but good to say about it. It's excellent, and the floating shell plate in there, just it's not coaxial, obviously, but it really just helps align that. So when you're seating a bullet in there, or you're resizing brass, it's just spot on every time.
Wow. No, I didn't even realize that they had rifle presses. I just thought, like, when you think mech, you think shotgun stuff. Like, I didn't realize they have one of those. I have to take a look.
Yeah, and I've got the Mech 600 Junior, and I've got the 9000 here, and I started out with the Mech 600 shotgun press, but when we started getting into competitive shooting, it's a one at a time, move the bullet around, and when we're looking at loading, 250, 300 rounds, it's like, yeah, I need a progressive. And I started researching them. I used to have an old Posnus Warren press, but mech was just, I'm like, yeah, I got to go with a mech. And I'm not disappointed. In fact, I just loaded 16 boxes of 12 gauge, and it was just clunk, 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 and they came out perfect every time. Unless, of course, I had a bad hole, which I did have a couple bad holes, but where the tops of the hull would split. But you just fire them off. They still shoot fine. They just didn't. The crimp just didn't look great. But that was a whole problem, not a press problem. But that even the Mech 9000 is great. In fact, I love all. I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan of Mech, and in fact, I even started shooting these Mech. I got these Mech wads, and these actually plastic can get hard during really cold weather, and whatever material Mech is using for these things here is phenomenal. I put these things in the freezer in comparison with other wads, figure eights, and clay busters and stuff, and the other ones will stiffen up, which of course affects pattern. And these things here, just as limber as they are right now.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
Wow.
they've definitely put their thinking hats on. They've developed some great stuff. So I keep buying more Mech stuff.
I love my Mech Marksman press. I think that was one of the best investments I bought last summer, especially for loading stuff like the 338. It's amazing having that nice open face area for it, and
That
now
open
going
face is great, isn't it?
yes, and especially doing with these 212 secas from Patriot Valley Arms, these monolithics because they're longer, and I have to go with a longer coal. Having an open face is so nice. Oh, and plus having that universal seating system from Franklin Arsenal makes so much sense, and that's what I used on this. I have a video coming out for that, hopefully next week or two.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I have to get. So I have the Frankfurt Arsenal coax, and it's okay. But the problem is, so I'm using Hornady matched eyes and the matched cedar, and it's just too long. So the handle of the press doesn't go over the top of it. So I'm like trying to hand stuff each one in there. And I saw that, they have their own new cedars. It's interesting. Let's play with it. But I'm not super crazy about the press. Too much wobble, too much play. I missed my second one. I broke the first one.
If you can break the Mech, I will be shocked.
No kidding.
I mean, I even bought one of their seconds because the powder coating was a little scratched, which I really don't care. It's in my workshop anyways. It's gonna get scratched.
Yeah.
It's not a 1971 Triumph Spitfire Mark III or anything, but it's there, so I'm not worried about it. But their presses are amazing, and
Yeah.
Mac, you should get a hold of them. See if you can get one because they're worth it. And the thing is, and what's nice about it is I'll be able to use it to load 33XC, 37XC, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which he just doesn't know he's gonna lose that in Utah. So, but it's all good.
So here's a question for you. As somebody who's able to make their own guns and as a gun builder, for people who are on the fence and looking at buying a factory gun versus buying something that's custom, what are some of the biggest improvements that can be done? I guess, like, what do you get by going the custom route? And is it enough for people to notice, let's say, for example, unless they are in it?
I've struggled to find a factory rifle because they're so mass produced that will just punch a clover leaf. I'm not saying they don't. You can certainly get lucky or pay for a very high end gun that will do that kind of stuff. But if you're going to pay for a very high end gun, why wouldn't you have a gun custom made to you? With the stock that you want, with the barrel length you want, with the muzzle brake you want, with pretty much everything you want. So not only that, but as things are mass produced, I've seen all kinds of problems with just factory guns. Remington, they're just the quality just went downhill. I had a Remington here. In fact, I've got the action just down here, and it's one lug is touching, one lug is just floating in the breeze, doesn't touch at all.
Wow.
And so you're only locking up on one lug. And so with doing a custom build, I can control everything. Now it takes me obviously a lot longer to build one than a factory does. Factories pump these things out by the thousands. But when I'm done, I've got absolute minimal run out. All my lugs are making contact. Um, I can control torque. I can control barrel length. You can do so much more with a custom gun that you just can't buy off the shelf. And I'm not, and there's some great guns out there, off the shelf guns. Even just a factory Savage Model 12 FV. My brother-in-law's got one, and it shoots great. It doesn't shoot as good as my custom ones, but it's actually quite impressive for a factory gun. So it just depends on what you want, what your budget is, and I think for anybody to have a custom gun built, they really should be into the sport and know that they're going to stay in the sport for a long time. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. You might as well just go buy a 783 off the shelf and go shoot a deer once a year.
Hopefully not blow up on you.
Right, that'd be good too.
I'm sorry, I had to put that out there. But I agree, Savage is better. I agree with that. I am a big Savage guy, so.
Yeah, and Remington used to be great, but when they, around about 2008, their quality just went right down the tubes.
Yeah, I can tell you that one for sure.
I keep going back to when I got into firearms about 12, 14 years ago. I mean, the standard advice for somebody going into longer range or precision shooting was, hey, go buy a Remington 700 Police, and then you can upgrade that and you'll be fine. I haven't given that recommendation in at least 8-9 years, because it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, like, and at that point, like, buying a Savage 110 was like, well, get a Remington 700, but if you can't afford that, go get a Savage. I mean, Savage is always the poor man's Remington. But now it's like, you don't even consider that. I mean, you tell somebody, hey, go get a Ruger American or get a Savage 110, and those are going to be fine for sub-MOA guns. And then if you want more, then if you want fancy, you can go with a Sacco, you can go with a Bergara, Christensen, things like that. But I mean, the other trend we've recently seen in the past couple of years is these hybrid, what I would call hybrid type guns, where you have the barreled actions be put into a third-party chassis. So I'm thinking, like, let's say the Savage Precisions, Howa with Legacy Sports, they've been doing that for a long time. And then most recently, we've seen that up one more with PRS production guns, where you have Bergara just announced theirs. Christensen had one. I mean, Savage has very elite precision lines. And then you have like the MPAs and the GA Precisions and so forth. So,
hey, Max,
where do you think this?
We're gonna have to sum this up with Vaughn, because he is on a time limit tonight with us, because he does have to get it on the. Because yes, I'm not gonna tell the guy he can't get any sleep and then have to drive 3 hours to the competition tomorrow. I'm sorry, but I am not that bad, that rude.
Just sporting plays.
Yeah, unfortunately, I gotta run. I gotta finish loading up all our gear tonight and hit the road here early. I can probably get up around 3:30 in the morning and get some breakfast.
That's a smart man. He loads the gear up beforehand. I always I do it before I go to the range, and like by the time I get everything done, I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere.
And then you get there and you go, I really forgot my bullets? Really?
I've done that.
My son did that to me.
I get out to a range one day and I packed everything except the one thing that goes bang.
The bad part is when you set up everything and then, yeah.
Well, as a content creator, I mean, it's not even just the gun stuff. It's the gun stuff. It's the camera stuff. It's like everything else that you need with it.
Absolutely.
And it was the same thing. Like, I loaded up a car full of stuff, and I'm like, crap, I didn't take any 6.5 Creedmoor, didn't take any 6.5 PRC ammo with me.
Yeah.
And it's not like you could just pop by somewhere and get some ammo on the way.
No, we were going to go film a duck hunt this year, and so the kid and I would get up, get our shotguns, our gear, our waders, we get decoys and everything. We get out and the entire intent of that day was to go out and film it because it was going to be a nice day. I'm like, all right, cool, we got this. We get out there, we're like, all right, where's the GoPros? thought you got him. I thought you got him.
I,
Oh, nobody got anything. So we just killed ducks.
Nothing wrong with
there you
that.
go.
No,
I think sometimes you just need to do that.
sometimes it's a good thing to do. Just put the cameras down and just go out.
Yeah, that's what I did a couple weeks ago when I took out the 338. I hadn't shot that one in 7 months, and I was like, I ain't. I just want to shoot.
Yep.
You rat bastard! You cheated your audience of some awesome 338 Lapua action.
Lapua? You mean Lapua?
Oh, you had to get that in before you left. I love it. I love it. Vaughn, I want to extend an invitation. You're welcome to come on the live chat anytime you want, or live stream, I mean.
It's been a lot of fun. I'd be happy to come back. You bet.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a thing.
Pleasure meeting
For, I'm gonna send you an invite to our Discord group where it has other content creators and stuff in it, so you can everybody. Well, sometimes we all have long chats in there. Sometimes we don't chat at all. So, but I throw invites in there for everybody. They want to come on, and you are more than welcome to come on anytime you want.
Appreciate it, guys.
Derek,
welcome.
but you had to run. You had to run it by the big boss, and I don't like the way he pronounces Lapua.
Oh Jesus, you're killing me.
We're good with that. No, but it's gonna be a pleasure having you on there, sir.
Yes.
Lapua and Horn a day, you know.
Oh, that's even worse. That is even worse.
Oh my god. Oh, that was priceless. Vaughn, thank you for coming on. Hopefully hope you can come on again. This was a blast. I had so
All
much
right,
fun
you
with
bet,
this.
guys. Thanks
Have
for the
fun
invite.
tomorrow.
Take it easy, and we'll see you guys soon.
Oh yes, for sure.
All right,
Have a good one.
later.
Oh, that was fun. So, oh
Horn a
man,
day. That's cool.
I knew you were gonna say something. I was waiting.
Okay.
Waiting.
Call Lapua. It's fine, but Hornaday?
Oh my god, I love it.
That's one step. That's one step above calling Saiga a Sega. That's what really irks me. There's Sega Genesis. There's the Saiga guns.
Welcome everybody to Rant Hour with Slav Guns. I love it, man.
I'm hardcore.
Oh my god, that's
It's a
awesome.
comfortable T-shirt.
That's why I like my Ride-On Pro Staff ones. They're just comfortable. I'm surprised they actually gave out nice, comfortable shirts like that. To be honest with you, that and the hat. I love this hat. If you guys like the hat, Warbird Ranch, go to DaveModCustoms.com. Go under apparel.
Go make yourself big. I can't see the hat.
Oh, okay. Let me go.
Make yourself muy grande. Okay, cool.
My friend Dave Heshy from Dave Mott's Customs owns Warbird Ranch and owns Dave Mott Customs. He actually moved out to Idaho last year. So everybody go check out his stuff. He's got his pre-sale going on all of his 2021. Well, as you can see, the hat comes in gray or black. I can't, damn camera. Mine's in gray because that's my color. But he's got them on sale right now. You go under apparel. Put in comments. Northwest Gun sent you. I want to see what he says. He doesn't even know I'm promoting this tonight. I'm probably gonna get an email from Mel, but that is okay. I will take that. So, I come home and then like she's all, this is Brittany. Yes, it's pretty. It's pretty. Yeah. So
we were just talking about preparing and going to the range. I'm like the reason why I didn't go shoot this morning is, well, besides it was windy as hell outside, is I gotta clean that. So yesterday on our Odyssey live stream, we used sandpaper to basically to clear out the barrel channel just a little bit more so the barrel is free floated.
Okay.
And it's like there's like crap everywhere. So I gotta clean it up. I'm like, I need to clean that and I need to load up some 9mm for another video.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't feel like doing that.
Yeah, I have no ammo made for my 300 PRC other than 2 rounds. And what damn camera? Where is it at? 2 rounds, one Sika.
Those look pretty.
Oh,
Those look really, really pretty.
you're not mag feeding this. This is a single feed only now. I mean, you probably could mag feed it if you wanted to go another 500,000 step.
How did you arrive at that overall length?
Use an
Hello,
overall length gauge. Hey, Joe.
Okay. For your barrel, that is.
Yes. Overall length gauge. Used the modified case from Hornady. And did it that way. So there is a big difference. With the A tips, I'm running at 3.7, where these are 3.9. So these are not mag feedable. They could be if I wanted to see them a little deeper, but recommendation said 20 to 30 thousandths off the lands. And these are 30 thousandths. I'm going to play around the 30 thousandths area where these are 20 thousandths off the lands, and these shot really well. So
yeah. So I know basically like playing around. So I haven't shot the A tips yet, but basically in 300 PRC, I was generally shooting the 225s, and those hate to be jammed in or anywhere close there. Like you need be like a nice jump in there. So I was wondering how the Senecas were. So have you shot them yet or no?
No, next weekend.
Okay.
Next week I'm gonna take them out.
I was say, you know what the problem with like those bullets were too damn nice. I feel bad shooting them unless you can go recover them.
I know everybody keeps telling me like you do know it's like a dollar ahead every time you pull the trigger, and I'm like, yeah, and your point's what? Well, I want to win.
Yeah, I know. Well, so like even these I have like I have the 250 grain A tips, and like it just looks so damn nice in this packaging. It's like if it was a bulk box, it's like you have no problem with it, but it's like it just looks super duper nice.
You mean the empty box?
I'm sorry, the empty box with some pictures inside of bullets.
Yes. So no, it's good times. Bring us down. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna shoot those next weekend. I'm gonna make up 10 of those 220 grain ELDX, get the rifle sighted in with the new scope, and draw it out because they're gonna open up the 2,000 yard range next week. So hopefully I'll get a little bit of practice in. They open it up once a month, so I'm gonna get out there, get a little extra practice in. And see, because I want to see how these.
That's actually. I would say that's actually an actual range that you can go shoot 2,000. Because I mean, like, don't you have like a lot of BLM land where you can just go and just shoot that distance, or no?
We can, but the problem is you're shooting over two dirt roads, and I've decided, I got to play it safe, especially when you're shooting that range. There's just too many variables. 1,000 yards we're fine at. 1350s, kind of on that level line over there on BLM. 2,000, I just didn't want to take that chance. So, but over there, 2,000 yard regulated range opens up once a month.
Awesome.
Even if it's 1760, even if it's just a straight mile, that's still better than nothing. So, I just want to get some data on these because I'm actually not loading these with H1000. I'm loading these with 7977.
Interesting. Okay.
Something just a little tad bit faster to get me that little extra velocity. Because we're predicting these 212s are probably going to fly out at about 31, almost 3,200 feet per second. I know out of a Norma, the gentleman was telling me they were getting somewhere on the 3,400 range. So, which later we'll find out with a Norma because I'm having a Norma barrel made. So we'll play around with that later. So, but with the A tips, I'm getting damn near close to 3,000 feet per second with the A tips. With H1000
out of a 26-inch.
Yeah, 26-inch, 1-8, 5R, heavy Palma contour. So I'll experiment with a little more. Honestly, I thought about having another 300 PRC barrel made, but having a 1-7.
Okay.
And then playing around with that, but on a different action and see how it would do. But that'll probably be later down the road. That might be a next year project. We'll see how it plays out. But oh man, so how's everything going with your builds? What ones you working on right now, other than the 22?
We just finished that 22, and then yesterday after the stream, so the video on that's going to be probably next week. I have the I have the 6mm arc AR with the proof research carbon fiber barrel, and I pretty much got all the parts. I can build it right now, but there's a couple of parts I really want to use with it, so that's going to be early-ish May. Then we're gonna have a very fun little obnoxious gun, and I laid that out yesterday, and it was really really cool. In 300 blackout, and then we're gonna convert that to 9x39, which is 7.62 by 39 necked up to a 9mm. It's a newer Soviet cartridge, and then and then basically the Savage 110 Tactical, we're gonna make it 110 Practical. And we have a lot of cool upgrades for that, including, once again, the Boyd's at 1. And this looks like a much needed upgrade over the Savage 110, the Accu stock. So we're going to bet it. We're going to make it proper. We're going to make it a proper 6.5 PRC gun.
Okay.
And then I have a 6mm Creedmoor Howa, that action that I still got to do something with.
So I want to give everybody a heads up. You guys will be seeing a project coming on that I'm working on. I'm going to do a review on a couple different parts of it separately, just because I'm really impressed with the company that did the barrel and the receiver set for it. So you guys will be seeing an AR pistol, but I'm not going to tell you what caliber it is or any of the details. You guys will start seeing the build videos coming out in the next week or so.
You did 224 Valkyrie, didn't you, you bastard?
No.
Oh my god, you did.
No. No, it wasn't a Valkyrie. Oh god, no. I think I would have had to kill myself. I can't even get the Valkyrie barrel we have on the AR now to shoot even straight. So I was like, no. Actually, I wouldn't mind getting a Valkyrie and a bolt action and trying that.
Yeah.
That reminds me. I should
Been
call
there,
Mossberg.
done that.
I should call Mossberg.
You should, but we're not going to even send it to you because they have no plans. They don't have any interest in supporting that.
No, they don't.
Damn it,
I know.
was I supposed to say that?
Actually, I wouldn't mind trying out one of their Mossberg Patriots in a 308. I could say that.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind that. And I do have a 308 project coming.
It's a nice action. I really like the action. I mean, it's fairly smooth. So I mean, the 6.5 PRC. Ooh, I'm gonna go shoot that. I really like that cartridge. Let me rephrase that. I really like that gun with that stock. Although the barrel could be a little bit thicker. So I mean, it does shoot well, except once it heats up, it starts opening up quite a bit. But
See,
that could be fun. And then let's see, I have that Ruger that I really want to do videos with and release them. But I can't because the gun is not released yet, and it's like 6 months delayed. But that's just me.
Yeah, see, that's the one thing that killed.
Ruger.
Oh, that's Ruger for you.
I say that's Ruger Guns. My April Fool's channel name. That's Ruger Guns problem.
Right. I guess my only negative thing I had to say about the Savage 110 Percision and my review, which will be coming out in the next week or two, was the barrel diameter and that stock muzzle brake. I could not stand that stock muzzle brake. It was just too damn big for a 6.5. It was just too damn big for a 6.5 Creedmoor. It used the same.
Was it effective at least?
Not really. No, if you were shooting like the 300 PRC, which I've shot that same muzzle brake on a Savage 110 FHP on a 338, and it made perfect sense. Actually, I have the same muzzle brake on my 112 Target Magnum, and it's effective for that cartridge, not the 6.5 Creedmoor. It just didn't make any sense for it. It was just too wide open ports, too big of a muzzle. I just and when Savage asked about it, I told him, I'm like, this is just, you killed me with this, and the barrel diameter, it was too thin for me. But for somebody getting into production class, PRS or something like that,
Yeah.
it makes sense. It does. And I guess it's just because I'm so used to having heavier barrels for my own personal rifles that I designed and built. So,
Well, I think that's kind of like one of the biggest struggles that people have with it. It's like, so I mean, on one hand, like you have a whole bunch of hunters who want a lightweight gun, and then you have a whole bunch of competitive shooters who want as heavy of a gun as possible. And people who are getting into it are kind of a little bit lost. It's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to want? Because it's like, on one hand, that's like, well, I think a lighter weight would be what they want, but then they don't necessarily consider that it's going to mean more recoil and everything.
yeah, I kind of, when we were talking to Vaughn about that with the 25-06 Ackley improved, that kind of busted my bubble because at work today I designed out a whole carbon fiber hunting rifle project that I want to build down the road, and now it's like maybe I don't want to, and that kind of killed it for me. I was like, man, the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I had straight plans on buying those dies and getting everything set up for next year's project. Because
there's still going to be plenty of time for you to do that. And
yeah,
you know what you should be doing is making more freaking videos.
Yes, I got
sharing with your audience the stuff that you already have, which is truly awesome.
And unfortunately, we've had a setback at our facility. We've had people quit. We had a reorg, and it's just been hectic the last couple of weeks. And I do apologize to everybody that I have not gotten a video out, but I will try to have one out for you guys next week. If Vortex lets me, I want to do a video with them over at that expo. If they let me,
that'd be good.
They never did. They never did get back with me on the email I sent to them a couple days ago. So hopefully we'll hear something, guys. If not, I'll talk to them when I get there. So I'm looking forward to it.
You should absolutely, I would say, bring your camera anyway, and just, like, you can live stream that, because as long as no one's really picking up guns there and just scopes, but just stream it anyway, like, or just basically just make videos there anyway.
Right.
That'd be cool, because I mean, so even for someone like I've never been to that show, I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's a small. I've never even heard of it, and like I said, I've been out here 2 years, but COVID kind of killed it last year for us, with everything and with the industry in general. So it's going to be nice to actually go back to expos and conferences, and hopefully SHOT Show this year coming up.
Okay, this year for sure we're going to Vegas, whether there's a SHOT Show or not.
Yes, for sure. But it was fun doing the virtual SHOT Show, man. We had a lot of good times with that, and we had a lot of hits.
That absolutely was. That was actually a blast.
It was. Even if we did something like that again, that would be so much fun. And it's.
Imagine if we're doing that from Vegas. Ooh.
I know, right? I know.
And then we can even have Alex there with his pro-America Canadian theme going on.
Right.
And maybe a couple of Alex's friends.
Maybe we can do that.
You know, the ones with the Muito Grande.
Okay, I've got to get that sent over to Vaughn so we can get him in with us on the content creators. Yep. Where is that? Okay, let's create an invite.
Okay, I'm sitting on the front porch in my fucking.
You're on a live stream.
I know. I'm trying to think. Whatever. I know. Sidetrack, man. Sidetrack. My bad. Ooh, squirrel. Okay.
That Bergara pistol, the bolt action pistol.
Okay. What's your opinion on that? And
so
and what one would you get?
None. I think it's stupid.
You think it's stupid?
The practical point of it. Okay, so we were having on my live stream yesterday. We were having a discussion, and there's a user named Jay. He brought up a question: what is the one of the stupidest trends in the firearms community? I'm like, well, a bolt action pistol. I just don't get. I mean, from an East Coast perspective, I don't understand the purpose of it. Besides, because as a bolt action pistol, it would not your typical handgun laws, for example, in New Jersey, would not apply to it because it's not a semi-auto. Beyond that, I still think it's silly.
Okay. No, I mean that makes okay. Um, Joe here. I like to say bolt action pistols are like a FUD gun to the extreme.
Thank you.
You know, okay, maybe on an East Coast perspective because your state's economy. Out here, a little bolt action pistol like that would be great for in hunting areas that are classified as any other weapons because you're not allowed to use a rifle, but it's not a rifle; it's a pistol.
Okay.
So
So just get a semi-auto 10 millimeter, or like a good revolver.
okay, my name is not Joe, and if you mention 10 millimeter again, you're out. No, I'm just kidding. Um, no, for a fun perspective, I see where they're going with, and the
Yes,
thing
for the
is,
fun perspective, I get it, but
they're getting into a market that hasn't been touched yet by a production company. Because if you go look up a rifle or a pistol, actually called a pork sword. It's the same
Okay.
concept, but the pork sword shoots a 375 Raptor, which is a 308 necked up to a 375 caliber bullet, and it shoots a very fast burning powder. So it's I don't know. It's got to have its area of where it needs to be. It's like a 7.5 inch AR-10. Sorry, 7.5 inch AR-15 pistol.
okay, so why not do that? Or build an other firearm, which is neither a rifle nor a pistol.
Yeah, I mean, well, out here in Montana, we don't have other firearms, so
Yes,
it's either a pistol or it's a rifle.
in terms of what?
If
You
it has
can
a break,
legally own one because
yeah,
it's
you
an
can.
ATM designation. You can have it. Maybe just not like there's no point in it, but
Right. I guess it just depends on what
like
you're
there's no point.
right.
Or get the Sig Cross, or get like something like interesting like that. It's like I just don't get it. I really don't get it.
I don't know. It's one of those. It's a very limited production run that Bergaro's
You buy
doing.
one.
No, I'm not. I'm not wasting my money. No.
Thank
No.
And because you said I'm not wasting my money tells me all you need to do.
No, my 33XC is more important to build than that. No. Yeah, I don't know. It's a niche item. It's something that somebody's gonna want, but I just don't think $2,500 is worth the money.
2,500 for that? No.
Yeah,
You can build that yourself.
you
Be
could.
realistic. Yeah.
You could.
Or
And
get a Mosin as a Nagant and cut it down and SBR it and destroy.
there you go. You got a vintage pistol there. I don't know. Niche items like that are far and few behind for me. It's not for me. Like one of the projects that we have is a 12.5 inch barreled. I'm not going to say what it is, but because you guys are going to, I want you guys to watch videos, but it's a certain
We're gonna watch your
market
videos
for
anyway.
it. Yeah. Right. It's a certain market in same thing with any other weapons and AR-15 pistols.
You didn't tell me what this is. Huh, I don't know. 6 ARC?
No, I sent a picture. I
You
sent a
did? I
picture
don't
in the
remember.
Discord group. So.
I haven't looked at it earlier today.
Oh, okay. Um,
Wait, did you get your hands on the DS25?
well, God, I wish.
Are you really that much of a big
Oh, you have no clue. I actually, thanks for reminding me. I got to call them, put that order in. Now that's
but you have
even if it's a 308, I don't care. I want one of those.
It's a really cool gun. I mean, and I think what would be interesting is to do a series. Like, I mean, there have been a couple of small frame ARs. I think the other one was Zev did their small frame AR, but I don't think they even have it anymore. I didn't see it
Good
on
question.
their website.
Hey, so are you
That is a good question here. I'll put it in the Discord group right now for you to see. But it's just a mock-up of it. But yeah, we'll you guys are gonna see more videos about this build,
Oh,
and
it's like an
then
iPhone picture. I can't open this.
oh Jesus,
It's in
I-
HEIC format.
oh I did it over my computer, so I'll upload it later. Okay, so everybody, we're gonna end the stream a
Oh,
little
wow.
early tonight. So you guys can all find us over at
Well,
the
we're already streaming on Odyssey on my channel.
yes. So we will stream over to Odyssey on his channel with his permission, of course, whenever we do live streams. So, do you have any videos you're launching next week, or any particular videos?
So on Monday we're gonna have a. See, I wish I was just in Odyssey. I was literally about to go pick up the guns, but then I realized we're still on YouTube, and then we would get you banned off. Although that could be interesting. You know how you can be the one gun channel to rule them all, get invited to other gun channel live streams, and wave guns, and then like have them shut down. So next on Monday we're gonna have a Ruger Max 9 versus Taurus G3C video, and
Okay.
then on Thursday I'm looking to get impressions and range footage of that upgraded AZTP22. And what's actually interesting is they stopped making the AZTP22.
Wow.
But it's still an awesome gun, and we're gonna go take that 22 out past 300 yards. So that's gonna be very, very fun. And this time, I'm hoping I won't have to hold 10 feet up over the target, and that there's enough internal elevation adjustment in the scope and the rail that we can actually just dial it in.
Right.
And then probably I guess 2 weeks from now, there's going to be a new gun coming out. So I should be picking it up on Monday, and that's going to be fun.
Nice.
Yes, Joe is correct.
Yes, Joe. You heard Taurus. You're going to be hearing that a lot more here soon.
I think that's a lot of BS. I think that's a lot of bull.
Right.
But yes, the G3C Toro is a good gun. It's not bad. It's a good value.
It's no Hellcat, but it's okay. It works. It's definitely no Glock. I'll tell you that much. I gotta throw that out there. I'm sorry. I'm a Glock guy. I can't help it. Glock and FN are my one of my two favorite pistols.
FN. So as I say, there's nothing wrong with the Glock, but FN.
You know, I'm one of the few people that can actually sit there.
You got to be effing out of your mind if you think it. No, so okay, which FN? You got to because it can't be the 5.7 because those frames blow up. It can't be the FN 509s because if you leave them out in the sun, the frame is gonna melt. So which FN is it?
Oh wow, you just screwed me on that one.
Or is it the FNP 45, which the frames the grips crack?
No, actually, I have the FNS 40.
Okay,
that is, that's one of my favorite
nice
FNs. Yeah, it's if you want something that a striker fire pistol, almost said rifle, striker fire pistol in a 40 that's high capacity, but has a really nice feel to it with a semi. You know, I don't have much time. I don't have much time in with a CZ. There's nothing wrong with a CZ. I just don't have much time in with one. I wouldn't mind getting.
You need to do more. You need to do more handgun stuff.
I think I probably will. I mean, once small pistol primers can come more efficiently in, I probably will. But that's where the problem is around here we're having issues with pistol primers, rifle primers, not so much lately. So I probably will
Interesting.
later down the road. And we'll get there because I got a 45 1911 project I want to do. I want to rebuild one,
Nice.
take it from
I love 19.
a stock frame and slide, and do a lot of custom work to it. And
Oh, that's blasphemy.
so that's where I want to lie. As I've always wanted a custom 45, so I was like, I'll just build one.
When's your Glock 37 project coming out?
My Glock 37 project. I'd rather have a Glock 39.
It's still in the right caliber, so we're okay with that.
I would rather have the 39 to be honest with you. Just so I don't have to learn the feel of a new gun. It's the same as a 19. And if I actually had a 39, I probably would carry it because my
Well,
other
39 is the size of a 26. You're talking about 38,
is it the
which is the
38.
size
Okay.
of- Yeah.
Okay, then the 38.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the 37, 38, 39.
okay. So it would be a 38 that I would want. If I could actually find one, I would actually carry it.
Wow. You love 45 gap, admit it.
So there's your challenge, Max. Go find me a 38.
Well,
Uh,
Glock still makes them. I guess I
do
could probably reach out to them. Although my idea was to find somebody who makes a 45 gap Glock barrel, or just buy a 45 gap Glock barrel and then do a polymer 80 build around that, like with a Gucci slide and like a nice frame, Timney trigger.
But would you actually carry it?
That could be kind of. I gotta tell you though, like 2 years ago, I would say yes. Right now, I really like pocket carry. I really, and especially since we're getting into shorts weather, I really like pocket carry. It's so like even like with the Max
Killing me.
9, it's like I love the Max 9. I like the Taurus, but it's like I still carry an LCP too because it fits in my pocket and it's so easy to live with.
Okay. No, that's understandable. And it's like I said last night on your stream, the Max 9 actually has a nice trigger to it. I was actually quite shocked and surprised. It would be considered I would consider it something I would carry. But would I give it up over my Glock 19? That is the hard question. As of right now, there is only one gun on the market that I would give up over my Glock 19, and that would be the new Walther PPD Compact 4-inch. After holding one and looking at it, and the trigger, I wouldn't even modify the trigger. The trigger it broke so nice. It was like glass. So
Walter has pretty good triggers most of the time.
they do, and it's actually quite shocking. But I went into looking at that gun with an open mind because some of the other Walthers I had are nice. They're more of a competition pistol than they are an everyday carry for me. But this one, you could use it for either or. So, and that's for me that was kind of like my deciding factor. If I can get one, I would actually put my Glock 19 up. No.
But
But
if you get a chance, go play with the Q4 steel frame.
oh, I know those are so nice. I haven't shot one, but they're so nice.
Oh, it shot so flat. So we did shoot it at Media Day, I guess a year and a half ago now, and that was such a joy to shoot. Wow.
Okay.
And the other one is actually was their Walther CCP, I believe, or CCP2, which is the compact carry pistol,
Okay.
and that was surprisingly they use a very fairly innovative recoil system in there. That was such a joy to shoot, and it was like the recoil was way below expectations.
See, the Walther PPS Gen 2, I actually really like.
Yeah.
That is one I would consider carrying. I'm actually shocked that Walther hasn't released an optics ready version of that yet. So if they actually had an optics version of that, I mean, regardless, I'm not that much on optics, but
Oh! I just saw the picture that you posted earlier. That is pretty.
yeah, that's just a mock-up. I'm gonna work on that tomorrow.
Is that a really big break, or is that a can?
No, that is a blast forwarding device
Okay.
that you can unscrew, and it's a muzzle brake.
Nice.
So
Very cool.
I got some time into
Very
this one
cool.
for designing for it for the person. So yeah,
That
you
is
guys
going
will.
to be really interesting.
It is. It's gonna be cool. I wasn't too excited about it, but just because I was like, oh, I don't know if this is how this is gonna look, and more I thought about it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be badass. So
Mhm.
this is something Joe would like. I know he's gonna like this one. So,
Yes.
but we better
Very
get
cool.
going. We're at an hour and just a little over an hour and a half now. And thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
So,
Thank you for everybody who's watching.
Are you doing a live stream on Monday after your video?
I believe we will.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a look at that, but we're gonna do one. There's actually a stream that I'm trying to put together. I'm trying to have somebody from My Medic come on to talk about first aid at the range, and I think you'd be quite timely with 50s blowing up.
Fuck, he's never gonna let that one down. That poor guy.
No.
Poor guy.
No.
But everybody, thank you for joining us. And I will let Slav take the rest of it.
No, go ahead, buddy. This is your show. This is your channel.
Thanks everybody for joining. Thank you. Please see you guys again. Keep on squatting, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Goodbye, all.
See you guys.